Also, you think you're a good shot? Well, we found one guy who's so good, he's one of only 81 people in the country to have won a very special medal. We're going to introduce you to Steve Huff. It's not too often that Chester sits this still. He's ready to hit the trail. Well, Chester and I just keep coming up on one beautiful piece of scenery after another. Came upon this little waterfall right here. Got me to thinking, have you ever thought about how far and how fast water can travel and where its final destination is? In that case, it's going to be the ocean. In contrast to that, have you ever thought about how far and how fast a bullet can travel and just how difficult it can be to hit a target about that big? Well, we met one guy who can hit a target that big and won not just one, but two very prestigious awards. Steve Huff doesn't hear the powerful sound of his rifle or notice the lumbering cow walking to the right of his sight line. All Steve sees is this target 400 yards away. His eagle eyes are focused on one spot, vision that has never failed him since he was a boy.
And my first memories of shooting, of course, was with my dad. He taught my brother and I how to shoot at a young age and taught us the fundamentals of gun safety and just, you know, responsibility with a firearm. And we would plink and, you know, just do, shoot tin cans and stuff like that.
You see these awards? The marksman from Hardy, Virginia has a hefty collection, and there's a reason for that. Steve is one of the best civilian shooters in the country. The proof lies within a national competition started well over 118 years ago. A contest Steve has mastered not once, but twice. It's called the Distinguished Marksman Medal, but we'll get to that in a minute. One must first understand Steve's passion for shooting, because pulling a trigger is more than just a hobby, it fires his competitive spirit.
When I got about 25, I looked around, I was like, man, I need to pick something that's I can do when I'm old. Basically, I had to get through college and get a job that could afford this habit, you know, and it can be very expensive. I give the analogy, it's a lot like golf, just a little noisier. It's the same type of mental game, you know, you're always out there trying to just do the very perfect shot. And it's very simple in theory. It's very hard to execute.
To understand the depth of the Marksman Medal, we should first give you some history. Less than a decade after the Civil War, the Army started match competitions to find truly gifted shooters. Over the years, the contest evolved, but it wasn't open to civilians until well after World War I, when the military learned many draftees didn't know the first thing about firing a weapon.
World War I was a great lesson for that, because the reality was there was a lot of people that really didn't know the basics of marksmanship, and when hundreds of thousands of doughboys were sent over, they didn't really have a foundation to ground them in the basics of marksmanship. We paid a high price for that in World War I.
Fast forward to today, and Steve has been competing in this historical event since the early 1990s. With each shot, Steve got better and more accurate. He toured the circuit, gaining confidence, but the window of opportunity is small when shots really count to win the prize.
It's very high pressure. You go to one match on Saturday, and you shoot your best score ever. And you go out on Sunday, and it's a leg match, and all of a sudden you look up and down the line, and if you're at the Nationals, there may be 1,000 to 2,000 other people standing there trying to win the same thing.
In 1998, his points total continued to explode like ammunition from his gun. At the end of that year, he won the Distinguished Rifleman Award, an oddity unto itself. Once mastering that craft, Steve focused his sights on pistols and had similar results just 2 months ago, earning him the double distinguished status, one of only a select few to have ever achieved this honor.
I was only the 81st civilian to ever accomplish that in the history of competitive shooting with high power and pistol. That dates back to the 1870s and 1880s. So it's extremely, extremely rare. It's a milestone. It's kind of one of those goals that you'd like to get, but you never really think you'll get it. You know, and then when you start to get close, it starts to become more tangible. High and left. In competitive shooting, you can't be thinking about anything other than the basic principles of a perfect shot. If your mind wanders just for a split second, if your eye gets off the front sight just for a nanosecond, you've lost it.
We shifted gears, or guns, and set up his pistol target complete with firing instructions. As we quickly learned, he is just as accurate with his .45 as he is with his rifle.
With 5 rounds, load. Ready on the firing line.
rewind and watch this again, only this time, focus on Steve's eyes. They never blink. Okay, so how'd we do?
Well, we're looking at, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 95 with about a gob. 4, 5 X's, that's a solid score for a leg match.
That's a good day.
That's a good day.
So what's next? Right now, his mind is set on bird hunting, but his quest for a new trophy is not yet finished. Sights are now set on international competition, possibly the Olympics or Pan American Games. Looking back, Steve literally shot for a rare honor and hit it with a bullseye.
That was right down the center.